All right. I have no script for today. I am actually very late and making this video. I've been planning, I've been figuring I should do it for the last week um, because a little interesting thing happened. I know I finished my week 10 several weeks ago, my last video of this 10 video audio message series of me sending messages to Jason Moore of Zero to Travel. And so that ended several weeks ago. And an interesting thing happened, which was Jason replied to me after my 10th message and said he wanted to chat and just just meet face to face. I mean, online, but I was like, sure, that sounds great. He actually said, it'd be great if we could meet and I could pick your brain as a listener to get some feedback on how to improve my show. And maybe he meant it, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But to me, when he said it, I was just thinking, the way he wrote it, I was just thinking, this is just, he's just trying to make me feel comfortable meeting him. It's not going to be just like a fanboy, oh my God, I love you, Jason. It's more like, let's give us something to talk about. And so that's why he wrote that, I'm guessing. And as it turned out, we didn't ever talk at all about his show or, my feedback on it, which I don't really know if I have any feedback. I love his show. The only feedback I could give really would be, let me come on, let me be a guest. And what's funny, and the reason why I'm doing this update is because I've talked about how when I started this 10-week journey, I didn't have any necessarily any specific goals in mind other than just to do this one thing every week that I had been saying I was going to do and didn't do for several months. And so that's why I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to overkill. I'm just going to keep doing it every single week. And so that was really the only thing I thought about when I started sending Jason the audio messages. But as after beginning, when I thought, okay, what would be my goals in this? As I said, my goals were to get a response from him because I had written him several emails previously and never heard from him before. And he's a really nice guy. I just figured that he was very busy, and he is. So, I never really held any grudge that he never responded to any of my emails. But I just thought, okay, this might be a way to get his attention, get him to write back to me just so I can say, yeah, this guy, Jason, this guy I've been listening to for 2.5 years wrote back to me. So that was one thing. Second thing that I thought about after a while is, well, he's doing these audio messages so that he can use them on his podcast. So hopefully I can maybe be on his podcast, like my voice, my recording can be on his podcast. So first of all, he wrote back to me after week 2. And he put me on my recording on his podcast after week 2. So great. I didn't really know what else there was to hope for, except maybe someday down the road, I could be on his podcast. That's what I figured. Once I built up a little bit more of a following so that it's a little bit more useful for me and for him, I could maybe ask to be a guest on his podcast. And I know that he does this transition to travel thing a lot where he talks to somebody before they embark on a big journey. And so I always thought maybe I could be on one of those transition shows. Maybe it's transition to expat life, but it's also like expat life is really for me like one big travel journey. So I thought maybe I could pitch that to him to be on his podcast someday. So we did the call, we met up face to face. He's a cool guy. Really nice to chat with him. It was only like 15, 20 minutes, but it was still a great time to connect. And, it's funny doing these. I've actually talked to a lot of podcasters now, like 4 or 5 podcasters in the last few months that I've been listening to for a long time. And it's really weird to meet them in these chats because I know a lot about them, having listened to their shows, having read and heard them for so long, and just other ways, not just through podcasts, but other ways you kind of know these. I'm like killing ants down on my table, by the way. That's why I keep reaching around. But Jason, so it's just funny to meet these people where you know a good amount about them and they don't know anything about you. But anyway, it was great to connect, and I never said a thing. Of course, he knows that I'm a small YouTuber. I've just started a channel, blah blah blah. Anyway, I never said a thing. We talked a little bit about my impending move to Taiwan later this year, and he was like, "We really should have you on for one of those transition episodes." And I was just thinking, I said, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, let's connect, when it gets a little bit closer, because right now it's still way too early. But yeah, that'd be cool. We should definitely plan that. And inside, I was just like doing cartwheels, like, yes, let's do it. That's what I have wanted. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. This whole thing has been like easily, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to call it success, because the success was really just doing it. And I really, honestly, when I started it, I wasn't thinking at all about getting any outcome at the end. It was just, I was frustrated with myself for listening to Jason ask for audio messages for 8 or 9 episodes in a row. And each week I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to send him a message, talk about this, talk about that, and never doing it. And so that's why I did it. And then suddenly, like dominoes, everything that I could reasonably hope to accomplish by doing this has come to fruition. I mean, we haven't done the podcast yet, but fingers crossed that everything works out and I'll be able to be on the Zero to Travel podcast. It's going to be a long time, because if we do it before I move to Taiwan, it'll be later this year, and then we'll do it again like a year after that. So it'll be a long time before the podcast, if we do it, knock on wood, ever comes out. But still exciting, because it was exactly what I was hoping for, like the transition episode. I always thought that'd be such a cool thing to do, just to have that and have that memory. And anyway, that's about it. Signing off. This is going to end, I would think, this series of videos, unless I do the podcast and I decide to come back and record something about it. But anyway, that's about it. Peace.